stupid, a person below normal intelligence.
Welcome to Comedy Parenting. My name's Jerry Begley, and today's topic is going to be weird sleeping arrangements. I've got an entire studio full of weird sleepers. We'll be back in just a moment.
Treesock Press wants your cheeks to hurt. You can laugh a little, or you can laugh a lot. When you read other children's books, you have to force yourself to smile now and then. But when you read Dad the Tooth Fairy Didn't Come, you laugh so hard your cheeks hurt. It's your choice, fake smiles or cheeks that hurt. Pick up your copy of Dad the Tooth Fairy Didn't Come wherever lousy comedy books are sold. My cheeks hurt just reading this.
Okay, thanks for joining us.
Take 3.
Okay, thanks for joining us on Comedy Parenting today, and today's topic is weird sleeping arrangements in the studio. I've got a whole pile of Beglys here. I've got Josiah and Elijah and Courtney and Joshua and Caleb. Everybody say hello.
Hello. Hello.
Okay, we're talking about weird sleeping arrangements, and oh, brother, have we ever had weird sleeping arrangements in our lives? Anybody want to say something that was just a little Elijah?
Well, one of the things is during the summer, Josiah and I sleep out on our porch. One of the times it rained real bad. So what we did was we would grab our sleeping bags, we would build a blanket fort out of chairs. We would take chairs.
A blanket fort out of...
Chairs.
Chairs, and
like
what else?
Chairs.
What kind of a blanket?
You would take a wool blanket and put it on top.
Yeah, the good old army green wool blanket.
And then what I did was I would put wood planks on top to kind of keep the water out.
But
it really didn't work.
No.
And the problem was the blanket didn't cover the sides, so the wind would blow through and froze us.
So when I found you guys in the morning after having your blanket fort, I came out and there was this big, wet, soggy wool blanket on top of 2 kids with a bunch of chairs and boards caved in on top of them. Anybody else had some weird sleeping experiences?
10 years ago, we were living on a ranch, and one winter, Dad piled up all the snow that we got, because we got a lot of snow that winter, obviously.
All the snow on the whole ranch?
No, he piled up the snow plow.
I piled up the snow plow. That means something else. That means like...
No, he plowed.
It was all alive back then, so just be quiet.
Hey, this is a live show, so you don't have to put your hand on his mouth. Go ahead and talk, Elijah.
Yeah, but you have to be alive to be on a live show.
He piled up the snow that he had plowed, and we made it into a big snow cave and dug it out. And on my birthday, we went inside and cooked top ramen on a Coleman stove and then slept in the snow cave.
You want to give us any details?
11 people. There were a lot of people in there. I think 11 or something.
What does a snow cave look like with 11 people in it?
Very crowded, although it was an incredibly big snow cave, so it wasn't that crowded, but it was still pretty crowded.
It had multiple rooms. There were little ledges that had candles on them inside.
I love those candles in the snow caves. Don't they make it cheery?
It does, yeah.
Caleb, I recall you making a sleeping bag, a homemade sleeping bag one time. You want to tell us about that?
Sure, yeah. I made a sleeping bag. It was just a standard cloth. I put, I don't know, probably polyester blanket padding inside of it, and I put space blankets. Thank you. I put space blankets inside of it as well and sewed it all up and made a sleeping bag out of this.
And so when you laid in this thing, it was warm, wasn't it?
Oh, it was very warm, yeah.
You slept outside a few times in that thing, didn't you?
Yeah, I'd sleep out. This was quite a while ago. I'd sleep out on the ramp in this thing.
Winter or summer?
Oh, middle of winter.
I was concerned that you were going to die, and here you were. You were covered with snow, in your homemade sleeping bag, and I thought you were half dead, and you were quite warm when I went out and got you.
Oh, yeah. No, I'd just lay down there and then get, several inches of snow on top of me, and I'd be just fine in my sleeping bag.
Now, didn't you take that sleeping bag and go sleep in a pile of leaves one time or something like that?
Well, that was before the sleeping bag.
Okay.
That was
what
before
did you
the
do
sleeping
there?
bag. And I like two things. I like outdoor camping, and I like comfort. So I built a wiki up, which is a little lean-to made with trees, and you put bark on top of it. And then for comfort, I found a whole bunch of dry leaves, and I filled the thing up with dry leaves. So when I went there to sleep in it the first night, I found very quickly that mice also really, really liked dry leaves. And all night long, I was throwing mice off of my face. They would run across my face or run around up down my chest, and I'd just throw these mice across the room.
I have had a mouse run across my face once, and that was in my own bedroom, and that is just the creepiest thing to feel that thing go running across there. Okay, we're going to be back in just a moment here. Comedy Parenting with weird sleeping arrangements.
Brother, we've known one another since I can recall.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, alright, but don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cool time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
He spoke with General Custer and said, listen, yellow hair, the Sioux are a great nation, so treat them fair and square. Sit in on their war council, don't laugh away their pride. But Custer didn't listen, at Little Bighorn Custer died.
Okay, you're back with Comedy Parenting Radio. Now, this is your host, Jerry, and I'm eating a salad because, well, we got a lot of letters threatening us because we were eating Cheetos in the air, and that was supposed to be unhealthy, so I got a salad in here while we're in the studio. You know, I've had some pretty weird sleeping arrangements myself. Well, let me tell you about one here. One of my brothers and I came back into Colorado from the Midwest in my Volkswagen Beetle many years ago. We drove straight through from Indiana to Denver, Colorado. We were absolutely beat. And this is back when the very center of Denver had a thing called the Mousetrap, and there was this giant mess of roads everywhere, exits, entrances, whatnot. And I said, I was so tired, I didn't want to go one bit further, and we couldn't afford a hotel. And I said, John, let's just pull the car over here and go sleep in that grass. He said, really? I said, yeah, why not? So we pulled the Volkswagen over, put the flashers on, and got our sleeping bags and went over into the grass and fell asleep. Next thing I know, my brother John's going, hey, there's a police officer coming. And a car stops, and this lady officer gets out, and she puts on her riot helmet and billy club and comes walking up to us to see what's going on. And I said, no, we're just sleeping here in the middle of the Mousetrap, officer. We're kind of tired. And she said, you'll have to go sleep somewhere else. So I think we rented a pair of skis and went skiing that day in middle of June on our way back to Aspen, Colorado. Now, we all slept in the basement while we were building on the house.
Yes.
How many of us were in the basement?
We had 9 of us.
9. And were there different rooms in the basement? Or?
No, it's all just one giant room.
So, 9 people in the basement. What was it like to actually sleep there with 9 people?
Well, let's see. We had all 7 of us kids, well, 6 of us kids at that time, lined up in a row on one of the walls.
You slept on the wall?
No, against one of the walls.
You slept against the wall?
Yeah, our bed was against the wall.
Okay, you had beds against the wall lined up.
Yep, and then Mom
6
and...
beds.
And then Mom and Dad...
How far apart were they?
Oh, I don't know, maybe 2 feet?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Maybe 1 foot, I don't really know, except for the girls' beds.
I recall somebody jumping from bed to bed to bed to bed to bed.
Yes, we did that sometimes. And one of the things is we used to have some like extra mattresses, and Joshua and I would make mattress forts. And one of the nights, Joshua and I made a really cool one and slept in it. And another crazy sleeping time thing was sleeping under the staircase, because in the basement, under the staircase was a giant pile of coats. And when we would get home late or something, I would just go down there and lie in the pile of coats and sleep until morning, because it was incredibly comfy. Because the coats were supposed to hang up on the rafters, would fall onto the ground. So it was fun to sleep back there because we had so many coats.
Caleb, you've been known to do some sleepwalking now and then?
Oh, yeah. Sleeping is a very dangerous hobby.
Tell me about your most dangerous sleepwalk. This is amazing.
Well, I'll tell it from my perspective here. It was when we were working on the house, and we had been doing roofing for probably 3 days or so, 3 days straight. It was getting to that point where, you work on something for long enough, and it's, all day, tired, hot sun, etc. You start dreaming about it at night, right? I was dreaming about this, dreaming about shingling. This is just normal shingling dream for me at this point, So, nothing unusual. And then I felt a bit of a rough sensation on my face, and I kind of woke up a little bit. And then I woke up quite a bit more, and I was laying face down on the roof of the house. We had been sleeping nearby where the roof was being worked on, and I was just up on the roof. So first thing was just stay calm. Don't move. You never know where you are on the roof. All parts of the roof feel the same when they're shingled. And so I'm laying on these asphalt shingles,
In the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night, totally disoriented. I'm like, okay, there's a wall here. Okay, there's another wall here. Follow it down. Okay, I think I know where I was. I managed to make my way all the way back down. And what it was I had gone out of the door, climbed the ladder, gotten up onto the roof, and just was sleeping up there.
And we're talking about a 2-story house, and you were on the peak of the roof, and on the east side of the house is a cliff, right?
Yeah, and that's where I was.
You were on the east side of the house where the cliff was.
Yeah.
So, conceivably, if you had rolled off the roof, you would have fallen about 20 feet to the ground and then continued rolling down off the cliff after that, maybe another 50 feet or something.
Yeah, I don't like to think about that.
I think you just nailed it.
I know you were. I know where you were. You were right there.
Yeah, I was right out there, actually, right near the art studio.
Yes, and I'll never forget because I'm a light sleeper, and the basement door opened up, and there was a human being standing there, and I said, hello, and you said something like, hi, Dad. I'm like, is that you, Caleb? Yeah. Oh, what's up? And you said, I just woke up on the roof of the house.
I think I said something along the lines of like, I was on the roof or something like that.
And I'm like, what? And you're like, I just woke up. I was on the roof of the house.
Yeah. And that's the whole reason why when I'm in college, I try to get as little sleep as possible.
That way you won't make those mistakes.
Yeah, it's for safety.
You've been listening to Comedy Parenting Radio. Thanks for joining us today.
Insanity runs in my family. Practically gallops.
Hitmobile.